In this activity, we're going to be looking at the gene versions of parents, and then we're going to be having them make offspring and looking at the genes that their offspring get. So, our first step says, press body color to observe Otis and Anne's traits and gene versions for this feature. Record your observations in the first table. So right now, I'm going to do this with bristles instead of body color, and then when you do it, you're going to be doing it for body color. All right, so don't write down everything I do. This is just an example. So I'm going to be doing bristle. When you do it, you'll be doing body color. That's the difference. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is look at Otis and then Anne. I want their gene versions and their trait. So if I look at Otis has the trait sparse, and his gene version is R1, R2. So his gene version was R1, R2. And his trait was sparse. So once again, don't write this down. I'm modeling it for bristle. You're going to do it for body color. All right, and then now I need Anne. So I'm going to look at Anne. Anne has R1, R1, and dense. R1, R1, dense. So I found the gene version and the trait for each parent. Now, step 2 says mate Otis with Anne by moving Anne over Otis until a dotted circle appears. So I'm going to make the spiders mate. So I'm going to take Anne, and I want Anne and Otis to mate. All right, so now, hold on. I gotta make sure that there's a button down here that says randomly fertilize. I gotta scroll down for it. All right, so create reproductive cells. You're gonna click that. And then click the button that says randomly fertilize. All right, now you have your offspring, and you can go ahead and write down their information. So now we just did step 3, okay? Now examine the traits and combinations of gene versions for each offspring, then record your observations. So we're going to write down here the information for each offspring. So offspring 1, I want the gene version from Otis and the gene version from Anne. So the first gene version for each spider is going to be the one that they are getting from Otis. So this spider has R1, R1. The first R1 is the one from Otis. The second R1 is the one from Anne. So I would write down R1 from Otis, R1 from Anne. And then we need its gene version, which is just them put together, R1, R1. And the trait is dense. So I would say this spider had dense bristles. And then I'll do offspring 2. This one's also dense, also R1, R1. So I'd have R1, 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 dense. Offspring 3, sparse, R2, R1. So that first R2 comes from Otis. The R1 comes from Anne. So then the R2 is from Otis, because that was the first one that it gave us. And then the R1 was from Anne. And its trait was sparse. Then I'll do the same thing for the last one. This one is the same as spider 3, so I'll have the same information. Right. So I just got all of my information about my offspring based off of what I did. So you're going to do the exact same thing except for body color. So you'll go ahead make sure it's set to body color, and then have Otis and Anne mate, give them their babies, and fill out your information. All right, good luck.